Fighting for the survival of small businesses, lobbying on Capitol Hill. One organization is urging Congress to pass additional stimulus relief this month for struggling entrepreneurs. Here now is John Stanford. He is co-executive director of the Small Business Roundtable and founder of the Prism Group. What would you like to see the government do now? What specific steps do you think would help?
Well, thanks for having me, and let me wish you and your viewers a happy National Small Business Week. What better time to take some real steps? Our letter to Congress called out 7 steps that Congress could take right now. They have bipartisan support, they have bicameral support, and they don't cost the taxpayer almost anything, certainly not in the scale of what we're talking about. We're talking about extending the PPP program so that businesses that have been worst hit can get a second draw on that program. We've talked about allowing businesses to use that to pay for PPE. We're talking about automating loan forgiveness for the smallest PPP loans so that those businesses can focus on growing, not on the tax burden that they may face. We're talking about removing idle caps on the economic injury disaster loan program. We're talking about making the 7A loan program even easier for businesses to use through leading into the holiday season. And of course, we're talking about making sure that community development financial institutions, CDFIs, have the resources needed to reach America's lowest income and most troubled neighborhoods.
For any of those things, I mean, what's the unforeseen externality? We saw earlier on when the PPP loans went out and companies wanted to have them, and then there was this cross current of the extra unemployment that was sent to people. And so I talked to so many business owners who were open and took the loan, but then they couldn't get workers to come back. So with the suggestions that you made, is there anything that's going to come and sort of bite business owners in the back?
We certainly don't think so. We're 6 months smarter and 6 months wiser. And Small Business Roundtable, which is the CEOs of the major small business organizations, exists to be a consensus body. And so we took all the lessons learned over the last 6 months from all of our organizations to say, what can we do today? We know that a bigger deal is needed. We know that the American economy hedges upon it, but we know that we can do this now. And if Congress is not going to come back and do anything until November, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of small businesses that won't be here if we don't act now.
Yeah. No, I mean, they definitely are in no rush to do anything that isn't, politically expedient for them. It seems like they don't care at all about the people they're supposed to represent. What was the response that you got when you said, could anyone please help us and just do these things right now? You could fight about the other stuff tomorrow?
We've heard from a lot of offices about hoping this can break a logjam or move the discussion forward. I think one of the challenges is how many facets are on this one deal that can help state and local governments. It can help small businesses. It can help people go back to school. And I think people feel like the trust gap in Washington is too big, and that if we do a deal now, we won't do a deal later. And what we've been saying is, for entrepreneurs, it's not about now or later. It really is now and later. And we've got to build the trust gap, and hearing all of the small business community come together behind one banner to say, we will be here for you now, and we want to see action now, and we'll also be there for you when we need a larger comprehensive deal in November, I hope will build some of that trust on both sides of the aisle.
Would you say if they don't do something now, what the cost is? I mean, we know, I see estimates that of the businesses that are still closed, 60% at this point won't reopen.
Yeah, I think you referenced some of the numbers that we've seen, and I've recently seen some additional studies that will be coming out in the next couple of days saying exactly that. The numbers may differ, but the bridge that was built through the CARES Act really got us to the end of September. Many of the programs expire or the funding is on hold, and that bridge kept thousands, if not millions of businesses alive, but that bridge has come to an end. And so we agree with those findings that if we can't act now, there'll certainly be tens of thousands of businesses that won't be here come the holidays. And it's a shame because they certainly could be. I mean, this isn't something that would cost much more money.
Yeah. John Stanford, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you. We appreciate your time.